Last week of April. Yes. Bring on May and bring on the summer. It is just around the corner. And that means screen time for kids often skyrocket because they're out of school. But what cost is that? Well, mental health expert and child youth care professor Calissa Ngozi joins us to really unpack how much is too much screen time and really even how can it impact children's emotional well-being and offer practical strategies for parents to help kids of all ages. Calissa, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Okay, so this is a debate that we have in our house all the time, and a lot of people do have at home. How much screen time is too much?
You know what? It depends on the household because like you, I have young kids. And at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to decide, okay, you can have an hour, you can have 6 hours, whatever that looks like. And it's not about judging each household, but it's about understanding the negative impact that it can have with too much.
Okay, so what are some signs to watch for?
I would say that emotional dysregulation is a huge one. So we're looking at our kiddos that are suffering with anxiety, depression. We've got social isolation. So they would rather be on their phones, their Xboxes, their systems than actually being out in the world and hanging out with people.
But even as the weather gets nicer, it's easier for us as parents to get outside and enjoy the sunshine now that we're getting closer to that summer season, right? Where it is a bit harder in minus bazillion for them to get outside.
You would think so. But here's the thing is we grew up in a time where there was no such thing as cell phones. We would play out until the street lights. But with these kids nowadays, there's such that big addiction to having screens that it's hard to actually say, hey, listen, let's negotiate. If you go outside for an hour, then you can have an extra 15 minutes on screen time, which is crazy, but that's what we have to do.
Okay, so in one size, you always say this, one size does not fit all.
No, it doesn't. I mean, you're looking at different ages. So you have teenagers, you have our young kiddos. With our young kiddos, they need a lot more structure. With teenagers, we actually want them to buy in. So it's really important that we actually make them a part of the process. So having conversations like, hey, listen, I know you want more screen time. You want to talk with your friends, you know, all these pieces. What is that going to look like? And what are you going to give me in return? Are you going to go outside? Are you going to help with chores? And then go from there.
And there's two reasons why that you really look at that too, like developmental stages?
Yes, absolutely. So a 5-year-old does not need to be on the screens 24/7. A 15-year-old, it's actually part of their socialization. It's part of schoolwork, but also it's a part of that withdrawal that we're trying to get away from.
Okay, so then when do we start to worry?
You start to worry when your kid is locking themselves in their room and you can't get them off the computer. You can't get them off their system. They start to show signs of anxiety. They start to be emotionally dysregulated, whether it's angry, depressed, all of those pieces. That's when you know that you need to step in and something needs to change.
Strategies. How do we go about doing that? It's easy to say, get off your screens, right? And we should be able to do that. But sometimes if, let's say, I'm busy doing something, it's a nice distraction for them to be on their screens. But when should we start to worry here?
Well, one thing that you can do is swap, don't stop. So maybe give them some other options. Let's go outside. Let's go on a nature walk. You know, let's go on a family drive. Maybe we'll go to Wonderland. Maybe we'll go swimming. But give them tangible things that they can do in replace of instead of just taking it away blindly, because that never ends well.
It's what's co-creating rules?
Well, involving your kids, saying, how much do you think is too much, right? And honestly, kids often give more of an excuse as to why they should be on it than we can think of. So, okay, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, okay, but what's the buy-in? What do I get?
You have to involve yourself too, because there's something here that like creating screen-free zones or times at the dinner table. And I'm guilty of this.
It's hard.
But I'm guilty of it having my phone at the dinner table, responding to things.
You know what I do is I might not have my phone, but I've got my watch, and my watch will buzz. And it's like every moment I want to be like, is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it an email? So we also have to check ourselves as parents and caregivers and understand that if we're going to do screen-free time or a screen-free zone, we have to buy into, because we're examples.
Okay, then let's get into the mental health reset. How do we get our kids through that?
Well, I think having open and honest conversations with these kiddos and saying, listen, like, I get it. I get the addiction. I get the love of it. But at the end of the day, it's messing with your brain if you're on it too much. So what can we do as a family? And it's having open and honest conversations with them and saying, you know what, let's take some time away. Let's focus on other things. But we're not taking it away from you. We're just making sure that we're reeling it back in.
You have twin boys, right?
I do.
How old are they?
They're going to be 12 in September.
Okay, so where are they at with screens?
Well, they just got phones for Christmas.
Okay, right.
So that was a really big decision.
Yeah.
And they love their phones, but they've got systems, they've got other things. Actually, this weekend, I had to take it from them as a consequence. And every day I've heard, can we have it back? Can we have it back? So it's about having that conversation. Why did mommy take it from you? And what are you going to do to earn it back? So there is a little bit of a power play there.
But it's holding strong too.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It
Like
is.
being able to hold strong, to know that if they do it again, that it is going to get taken away.
Yes, it's one of those big consequences that they know I'm not going to mess up again because I don't want to lose that. But having that conversation, don't just take it and then that's it, right? Involve them like we talked about.
Yeah, and looking at your own screen time.
Yes.
Like you can't be calling the kettle black if you're on your screen all the time and you're telling them to get off the screen.
Absolutely. And one thing you can do too is if your kids don't have the ability to self-monitor, which a lot of them don't, you can actually control with apps and everything the amount of time that they're on. So my kids, once it hits 3 hours, it shuts off and they have no access to anything except for texting in an emergency. So they're not on apps or games or anything.
Because like, what are they on there doing?
Exactly.
You got to be tracking that too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Oh my goodness, this parenting thing isn't all that easy, is it?
They don't tell us.
I know, but it is important. Where can we follow you for more information, Calissa?
You can reach me on my Instagram at Calissa Ngozi or on my website, www.calissaungazi.com.
Great seeing you, Calissa.
You too.
All the best. Always great chats with you.